Hello and welcome to this guided meditation in this week's series, which is called You Are Much More. I present this series in 4 languages and practiced about this theme yesterday with the Italian community, which is quite big, and it was extremely interesting. This first meditation is called You Are Not Your Thoughts. And it's interesting to hear people's experiences about this practice whenever they get a chance to realize that they are not their thoughts. And that's what happened yesterday with the Italian community when we were sharing experiences about this practice. Only a meditator can know this, or maybe someone who practices in traditions, in practices which are similar to meditation. But the only practice I know which really helps me to understand that I am not my thoughts is meditation. Because in meditation we create a distance from our mind, from our thoughts. And we realize that there are 2 parts of my mind. There's the thinker, which is ongoing, the thinker is like a radio, which is switched on day and night, going on and on and on, talking all the time, thinking about this and that, a lot of worries, a lot of possible problems and difficulties, a lot of planning, a lot of future and intentions and ideas and memories, also the past. And all this is just flowing and ongoing in your mind or in my mind or in everybody's mind. And this continuous stream of unconscious thinking is extremely powerful. It basically controls you. It basically makes up the idea that you have of yourself and of this life. We underestimate that. We think it's normal that we only know our mind this way, with an ongoing talker, an ongoing thinker. And well, the truth is you are none of that. None. 0%. All that's going on there is basically not you. Because what's going on there, all this thinking, is an endless repetition. There's nothing new. It's an endless repetition of things, words, sentences, thoughts of other people you heard, read, knew about somehow. One example I often make in this context is if you and me, if we lived together in a shared flat and worked together and also spent our free time together. If we basically spent all our time during the day together for a while, for some weeks, what thoughts would I have in my mind? Yours. And what thoughts would you have in your mind? Mine. It's inevitable. So what's going on there is a lot of talking coming from others, coming from what you read, coming from the news, coming from media, coming from your friends, your colleagues, your family. There's a lot of your mother in you going on, a lot of your father. That's natural and inevitable. But nearly nothing is really yours. What is yours comes up whenever this stream calms down, or is even really quiet for a while, for a moment. In that moment, your intuitions, your ideas, your real intelligence and wisdom can blossom for a moment. And that is when innovation happens. That is when ideas happen. That is when artists or writers have a great idea and put it down or put it into their work and express it. So, you are not your thoughts. Your thinking, your thoughts is going on in you, but you are not that. And as I said before, only meditators can really realize that, because as long as you think about it, maybe you are thinking about this now, and you will not really grasp what I mean, because you might think about it, but while you're thinking about it, you are in the thinker. You are controlled by the thinker in you, which does all the thinking, also the thinking about thinking. Okay? So the only possibility I know is to practice meditation, is to learn how to focus on something else, not my mind, not my thinking, but an object of meditation, which in our tradition is breath, breathing. You focus on that. You get back to that a lot of times. And while you do that, you start perceiving your thinking in a parallel perception. You focus on your object of meditation, and also your thinking happens, like also your sensations and also your bodily perceptions and your emotions and your contact to the outside world. A lot of things happen while we try to concentrate in meditation on something. And we should really practice with this parallel perception. In my main perception, I focus on breath, I return to my breath, and in a parallel perception, I perceive on all the rest and also my thinking. And with this parallel perception, I become able to notice without getting involved, to notice my thoughts without getting involved. Yeah, I notice what's going on in my mind, and I don't follow this stream. I don't follow these thoughts. I do not get into it. No, I don't start the inner dialogue about it, the comments, the questions, the doubts, the opinions. I just notice, okay, there is a thought. And I can do this even more precisely with some practice, with some experience, by recognizing every time the type of thought, by labeling these thoughts. This is a question, this is an idea, this is a doubt, this is a memory, an intention, an opinion, a judgment, an unclear fragment, or whatever. No? It's not important that I'm precise and correct in my labeling. The pure act of doing it will help you greatly. So, you are not your thoughts. And whenever we realize that, and we can only do that in meditation, in my experience, we become free. Because as I said before, this stream of unconscious thinking has a lot of power. It controls you. It really determines what you think about yourself and life. So whenever you manage to get away from that, whenever you manage to see it, to perceive it, to notice it, and to get back every time without following, then you really get free. Free from unconscious thinking, free from all those false ideas and limitations your mind creates. And you've become used to all this because it seems to be normal, it seems to be going on every day, but it isn't. So you really can break free here with quite a simple practice. It's not rocket science, it's not something really complicated. You don't have to learn meditation for years to start doing this. We start doing this in our practice right from the beginning. So let's start practicing meditation. This will be a short, very simple 20 minutes meditation on you are not your thoughts, okay? So the first thing is to sit down with some stability, dignity, and ease also, and openness. Yeah, it should be pleasant but stable It's important to keep your back straight, to open up your shoulders a little bit, relax them, relax your arms and your hands. Put down your hands somewhere, relax them there and leave them there. Don't move them. Don't move anything. You can close your eyes or rest the view on a point in front of you, just a little bit below yourself, but keeping your head straight up. And then we start. Let's have a nice meditation together then. So the first thing to do is to feel your body. You can just perceive, feel simply the contact . The weight, and the immobility of your body, which you keep still, without movement, and while you do that, you will surely notice some movement in your body, like your heartbeat, blood circulation, some very subtle vibrations. And breath. Please just keep breathing naturally, without changing anything. And simply notice how the breath moves, nostrils and throat, chest, belly, abdomen, even your back. And other points of your body. And obviously also thinking occurs. There is thought activity in you. And whenever you notice that, whenever you notice thought, just get back. Just guide your attention back to your breath. And probably you will have to do that very often. Whenever you notice thought, you simply redirect your attention to your breath. And again, and again, and again. And it's helpful to feel your breath in a specific point, because if you keep feeling your breath everywhere, you will get lost in all those possibilities. So it's helpful to focus on a specific point which is not too easy to feel, in order to keep your mind busy, focused. So try to feel a point 2 or 3 inches, centimeters below your belly button. A coin-like dimension of a point. And that point rises and sinks, rises and decreases, Starts up and down with every in-breath or out-breath. And that is where you find your anchor, your stability, your R point, your return point. Whenever you think, just get back there, to that point. And try to feel it. Try to feel it precisely. And you get back there and back and again, over and over again. So you establish this kind of parallel perception by focusing as much as possible on your breath, on the R point, by returning to that R point over and over again. Focusing and returning. And don't get discouraged if you have to return every few seconds. That's normal, completely good and okay. Just return. So that's the main perception, the breath and returning to breath. And now there's a parallel perception, and you also notice all the rest. Sounds. Like I have a helicopter and some church bells here. Now I don't know if you can hear them, but you will have sounds where you are. And you notice them without following them. You return to your breath. And you notice body sensations, emotions, and thoughts. . But you don't follow any of that. You made your choice. You only follow, or you follow as much as possible, your breath. So now, you have the distance you need to notice also a type of thought. This is a question, okay. Let's get back to our breath. This is an opinion, okay. Back to breath. This is an idea. And let's get back. A judgment, a memory, an intention, an unclear fragment. And always get back. So now, you can begin to experience that you are not your thoughts. And the only thing to do is to focus on your breath in that specific point below your belly button, and to get back to that point whenever a thought is present. And that's all. The rest parallel perception, labeling, will fall into place, will happen when you're focused as much as possible for you now on that point. And when you return, over and over again, 1,000 times to that point, you are now free. Free from compulsive thinking, unconscious thinking, which you notice carefully. Without following. Without losing yourself. You're free. In this relaxed, joyful, easy observation. So, well done. Great job. 20 minutes of concentration, focusing on your breath. 20 minutes of returning. This is the most important aspect, returning, because it strengthens your muscle. It makes it stronger. There's a muscle which enables us to return from unconscious thinking to reality. And that muscle must be trained. And that's what we did. So, well done, you did that. And do it again. Do it every day. With this guided meditation and with others and in your own still silent practice. And next Saturday, the 30th of January at 11 a.m. Central European Time, UTC +1, Switzerland, Germany, Italy time, we will have a live meditation on this topic. You are much more. You are much more than your thoughts. And Saturday we will see what else we can consider, we can contemplate on and meditate on in this context of being much more than we think, being much more than our thoughts, being much more than only this body, being much more than what our little small limited ego thinks it is. Okay? So that'll be Saturday, 11 a.m. Central European Time, UTC +1. It would be great to have you there and to practice together. So have a nice practice, have a nice day, and see you on Saturday. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.